Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever here. Just to let you guys know, it is going to be a little bit noisy in this video. Just got home from work, had to do some stuff around the house. But I really wanted to do this video and get it out today. The news broke yesterday, that's why I'm a little bit behind the curve. But as you guys know, I'm busy. I'm trying to keep up with all this kind of stuff. I'm trying to add content to the channel. But it's sometimes I'm just pressed for time. But this is definitely something that I wanted to talk about. It's something that's really important. It's another thing to indicate where the direction that I'm taking this channel. But if you guys haven't been paying attention, I know. Look, everybody doesn't like politics. Like I said in my previous videos, just letting you guys know, if this part of the channel you guys don't like, you don't have to watch it, right? But I will be moving forward on this because number one is something that you need to talk about, man. Like right now, there's a lot of serious stuff going on in the world. If you guys are wondering how I know all this kind of stuff or why do I talk about it, it's because it's something that's interesting to me. It always has been something that I've always liked. My favorite, one of my favorite subjects in school growing up was history, and I mean not just world history and U.S. history, but international history as well. And if you guys look at the content that I share on my social media, and again, I'll put it here in the chat. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Welcome to the show, brother. It's not going to be a long one. I'm just basically going to do a reaction and then talk about some of the current events that's going on, and then just give everybody a quick update. You know what I'm saying? So follow me here. This is my Twitter. I'm going to put it in the chat. Well, welcome, Daniel. Thanks for being here, brother. Pretty big news and everything that's going on with sports, man. I'll bring that show back to you. Trust me, man. We have a lot to talk about. But right now, dude, we're gonna switch gears, man. Like I said, for this channel. Um, Look, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, man. I don't think a lot of people paid attention to it. Some of that's on purpose. I understand that, dude. Nobody really wants to talk about some of the issues, especially globally. Definitely politically. I know a lot of people are happy that the election's over, regardless of who won. They're just glad that we don't have to deal with it anymore. I am one of them. Um, I was very much tuned in, very much charged, as you guys can tell by these videos that I'm putting up now. But again, I think it's important. We need to talk about it. There's a lot of stuff changing in the country, as you guys know. I know some of you guys don't like it, man. You made your comments known to me. Some of you have suggested that I don't do these kind of things, but again, that's just the direction I'm taking in the channel. And look, I know some of you guys are not gonna rock out with me anymore. That's fine, dude. That's cool. No harm, no foul, man. Everybody, I've look, dude. I've gotten the utmost respect. I've had run-ins with a couple of the guys, not the current group, but people from the past. It is what it is, man. But I'll be fine. This is just again, right? But if you like this stuff, please rock out with me, especially if you're an Xbox guy, right? I want to cover a whole plethora of other stuff as well, more pop culture stuff, again, more politics, and of course, definitely more sports. Um, but if you guys haven't been keeping up with the news that's been going on, you guys probably do know that there's a conflict in Ukraine, and it involves Russia, Ukraine and Russia, and a whole bevy of other European states as well, including the UN. Right, I'm not going to do a deep dive in this because in this video would be like an hour, and I don't want to be that long. In fact, this is more of a reaction to the current events that are going on. Right. So basically, the U.S., who currently the president right now is Joe Biden. Right. The other day they issued um, or gave the permission for the Ukrainian government to use the missile launch system that we have here, which is ATACMS. Right. So that's basically probably the longest ranges missiles that we allow any ally to use in any type of conflict right now. And again, we want to get into specifics and stuff like that. But what I really wanted to talk about, because this is everything starting to heighten, right? For a lot of us that don't want a World War III, for a lot of us who have children like myself and don't want another war, right? Because already, I can tell you this much: the government has already made concessions to a lot of stuff would happen if we do go to war, because our military numbers are really low. So they're going to need recruits. They're going to reinstitute a draft, right? That's that. And when I'm talking about draft, and that's usually people within a certain age bracket, younger generation, more specifically, like graduating high school all the way up to college. And with drafting, it just doesn't start there, right? It just depends on how bad the conflict gets, right? They can go as high as they want to, right? It just depends again on the conflict, everything that goes down. Of course, you guys know about the World Wars, one and two, and what happened there. So this is another reason why a lot of the college and Gen Z guys started waking up and saying, "Hey, dude, I don't want to go to war," and then they voted it out of the way. But yeah, Ukraine took advantage of the authority and actually launched missiles into Russian state. And if you guys did not know this, Vladimir Putin, in preparation for that, several days ago, already reconstituted his nuclear arms um, policy, which says that if anybody attacks him and any sponsor state attacks him, which that was a direct shot at us, the U.S., that he's going to actually, or he takes a nuclear response is not out of the realm of possibility. Now, at what level that nuclear response is, who knows, right? I hate to tempt fate and just avoid the situation altogether. Um, but that's where we stand right now. It is what it is. I'm pretty sure if you guys have been watching the news, you've heard a lot of people, a lot of different people talk about it. There's a lot of people on YouTube doing it right now. There's some guys that I follow for pop culture stuff that never did any type of political thing. But that's how intrusive, like I tell you guys in the previous videos that I did, that's how intrusive politics has become. And when I was growing up, it was never like that. And it's unfortunate that it is, right? Because it's not supposed to be that way, right? But in 2024 and over the past 2-3 decades, I mean, it has become that way. So people are getting involved. People are making their voices heard. I have no problem with that. Whatever side you're on, dude. I mean, I definitely believe in freedom of speech, freedom to express yourself. I say if things don't go your way, don't lose your mind. Definitely don't get emotional, man. Use a little bit of decorum, some common sense, man. Control your emotions, right? Because at the end of the day, dude, the U.S., regardless of how you voted, man, it's just like a ship, dude, and we're all on board, right? So moving forward, again, like what I'm doing with this channel, right? We're gonna talk about things moving forward and look at future casting, right? And action and reaction, right? And try to keep a cool heads, right? Try to discuss things out. That's why I could have people on here that might not agree with me. That's fine. People in the chat that don't agree with me, it's cool, right? I know what I know and I believe what I believe. I'm not gonna get offended. Okay, I'll just put it to you that way. But with that being said, so that's where we currently stand. The ball's in Russia's court right now. We're gonna see what what their response is gonna be, if there's gonna be any. Um, as you know, since you have President-elect Donald Trump, I'm pretty sure that he's been communicating with both Zelensky and Putin. That's not a doubt in my mind. So that gives me some type of, you know, hope that this thing will end amicably, right? Because I believe once President-elect Trump becomes President Trump in January, then we can move forward, right? Which is what everybody, or at least the majority, is hoping for. Dude, you guys don't understand. There's a lot of people that voted for Trump. They voted for Trump for multiple reasons. Some of them can cross pollinate, like you like certain, not just one policy but several policies. But there's people that I know that just voted for President Trump just specifically because of what he did in his first 4 years when there was no wars and there was actually peace treaties being signed. You know, he never gets enough credit for that. It's always Orange Man bad. The media absolutely hates him. The media is constantly lying about him, constantly. It's constant propaganda, right? And it even happened in this election, dude. But the problem that what the media didn't understand is that they're old. They're like the dinosaur now, and they're getting left behind. Sure, there's people that still listen to him. You see those people out there, right? And a lot of those people voted for Kamala Harris. A lot of those people don't really know Kamala Harris. They don't support Kamala Harris. They just hate Donald Trump. And one of the reasons why is because of the type of media we have, dude. It's propped up, man. It's straight up propaganda at this point. And so I know a lot of people's eyes were open because everything that was going on with him, right, from the court cases to the arrest, and ultimately to the assassination attempt. And there was a turning point. But also like these issues. This is why I tell people, I know you guys don't like this stuff, but there's really serious things going on in the world right now that you have to be paying attention to. Because you don't want to wake up one day and just realize that we're in the middle of a next war, or that we're in a conflict, a global conflict, right? Because already there's state-sponsored, well, I call them terrorist countries right now that are doing their own mechanizations and making moves behind the scene, right? So if we had a more competent president in the office right now, right, aside from the person we have that's technically running the show, but not really, right? We know it's the actual machine that's running it, and that's where we find ourselves in the situation that we are now. Right? And again, this is one of the reasons why Trump won. But anyway, let me do this video for you guys real quick. Like I said, I can't stay out here too long. I'm kind of rushing this, which I kind of didn't want to do because I really wanted to talk about this, and I don't plan for this video to be long, guys, but it is what it is. But we're gonna take a look at let's see. What we're gonna take a look at is we're gonna take a look at President-elect Trump's response to the missile launch, and he actually did a video. I think it's like about 3 minutes long. I was trying to find the raw video. I just couldn't find it. So we're going to have to use another news sites video. So shout out to those guys. But here we go. Sorry, guys. I won't be able to see the chat. And we're just going to run through this video. And what I'll do is I'll stop whenever I need to make commentary. Okay.
Never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it, but we need new leadership. Every day this proxy battle in Ukraine continues, we risk global war. We must be absolutely clear that our objective is to immediately have a total cessation of hostilities. All shooting has to stop. This is the central issue. We need peace without delay. In addition, there must also be a complete commitment to dismantling the entire globalist neocon establishment that is perpetually dragging us.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Sorry about the noise overhead, guys. The military's running some kind of exercises or something like that. But yeah, let me stop right there and just say again. Sorry, guys. Hold on. So sorry about that. Yeah, they've been running flight patterns a lot lately. They do it every once in a while, like maybe once or twice a week, but they've been doing it almost every day. But anyway, yeah. So here is President Trump, right, calling for cooler heads. He's already talked to both Zelensky and Putin, and if you guys want to, just do a little bit of research online. There's a lot of video with several videos of Putin actually responding to President Trump and how open he is for when President Trump takes office to have the discussion. Hopefully, to meet halfway with Zelensky, right, so they can kind of mesh this out with a peace treaty or something like that, right? So it doesn't have to escalate into actual full-blown war. But as the video is going to go on, you're going to see, I'm going to let it roll for a little bit, and then I'll have commentary after that because he says a lot of stuff. He kind of turns it a little bit, right? He announces the conflict. He talks about it and what he wants to see, but then he kind of turns and you'll see it real quickly.
Into endless wars, pretending to fight for freedom and democracy abroad, while they turn us into a third world country and a third world dictatorship right here at home. The State Department, the defense bureaucracy, the intelligence services, and all of the rest need to be completely overhauled and reconstituted to fire the deep staters and put America first. We have to put America first.
So this is probably the first time for a lot of you guys are wondering why he's appointing the people that he's appointing. And I know I haven't done the video. I told you guys I would. Again, just didn't have the time. But I kind of address it here. If you ever wondered why he's picking a Tulsi Gabbard or an RFK Jr. or a Matt Gaetz, and the Hegsworth guy that Fox News, you hear in the news people just disparaging them, questioning his picks and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, this is why he's doing it, right? First and foremost, what President Trump is looking for is loyalty, right? You guys remember in 2016, he already had 4 years in office, right, from 2016 to 2020. And in those 4 years, right, he realized something, right? He already knew there was a swamp. He knew he wanted to do something about the swamp, but he didn't realize how bad it was, right? And it took him 4 years of them constantly trying to block him, of people stabbing him in the back, of a lot of these politicians looking out for themselves. He didn't understand the power of big corporations, big pharma, big tech is a part of that as well. All of these big corporations, all of these interests, special interests, all of this money, right? He didn't have an idea of what it was, and rightfully so. Dude, this at the end of the day, he's not a politician, right? He's a businessman. So those first 4 years that he was in there, he realized really quick what it was about, right? Now in the second 4 years, he was going to switch all of that, right? That's why you see a lot of people in his cabinet getting recycled, right? He was letting people go. He's having people resign. He wanted to bring people in that was going to go with the agenda that he wanted to do. In fact, uh, he lost quite a bit of support from the first generation of supporters for MAGA supporters. I mean, not a lot, but there was more than enough people that it was noticeable, right? Because they felt like he didn't do what he wanted to do. I've always stuck with him just for the simple fact that I understand that he's a president, right? He's not a king, and you don't want him to be a king, right? This is the reason why you have the three branches of government, and we have a constitution, right? You just can't run roughshod over it. But the great thing about him, right? If you guys haven't read his book, Part of the Deal, you should take the time to read it. It explains a lot to his thinking. It tells you a lot about the person that he is, right? And I know this like with the real estate, and he's a businessman and stuff like that. So what he's doing, he's being that best person. He's just taking that, but he's inserting it into the politics now. The first 4 years, he realized how bad everything was, how deep everything went, right? And then in 2020, and I'm going to say this, man, if you guys don't like it, I'm tough cookies, dude. I'm just being honest, dude. They stole that election from him because in the next 4 years, he was going to do everything that you see happening right now, that he's doing right now. Again, this is why you're picking. This is why he's picking the people that he's picking, right? And what you're getting from him right now is he's being right straightforward, honest, and very blunt. Dude, he's going to go war with these people, and to go to war with these people, right? He needs soldiers in his cabinet. They're gonna be on the same page and they're gonna fight for him, and not fight for him because of him. Fight with him or for him because they believe also in what he's doing. Right? Like if a lot of you guys are seeing, like if you guys look at who the team is that people mention the most, a lot of these guys did not like him. A lot of these people did not support him. I think of everybody, Tulsi was one of the first. Because I remember in 2016, Tulsi went and talked to him, but they didn't have any agreement. Because where I live, everybody was like, "Oh, is Tulsi going to be in his cabinet?" Because there was all these talk about who he's going to put in the cabinet. Plus, he put on look, dude, he did it apprentice style, man. Everybody, like, look, there was coming to Trump Tower, dude. He was meeting with all these people, right? It was pretty amazing, if I'm being honest with you, right? But the only problem with that is he had a lot of political people. He had a lot of people in there that have been in the system far too long, that have loyalties other places, right? That when they had to pick between his agenda and other agendas, they went the other way. That's why you saw some of his stuff that he wanted to do never got done, like his wall. Right? He had it all planned out that he wanted the wall, but he was constantly getting stuck. And then when the Democrats came into power, it was just a quagmire for him. That's why he's not messing around this time, dude. When he tells you about the deep state, he literally in this video he's just pointing out every single enemy that he's going to be dealing with right here. This is an amazing video. Just to let you guys know, I watched it already. That's why I'm doing it because it says a lot about. If you're wondering what the next 4 years is going to be, whether you're pro or con Trump, right? Regardless of what side you're in, man, you better buckle up because this is gonna get nasty, dude. This is hopefully not World War III on a global stage, but political stage. This is definitely World War III.
Finally, we have to finish the process we began under my administration of fundamentally reevaluating NATO's purpose and NATO's mission. Our foreign policy established.
And that's one of the things I like the most because he talked about that a lot. And a lot of people thought in his first 4 years that he was flipping about it. No, he was ultra focused on that. That's why he went to Davos. That's why he would go to Europe and talk to these world leaders, right? And he was pressing on NATO. He wanted to get rid of NATO, technically. Or he just wanted to pull us out of NATO, which means it'll probably absolve because we pay the most into NATO, right? But then unfortunately, he listened to the people that was around him, right? And there are some good guys and stuff like that, but they only know one way, which is the political way. Well, he has no qualms about this now, dude. Right? He's gonna move the way he knows he should have moved, and and this is what he's doing. That's why he's calling it out. I, for one, don't really care about NATO. NATO is one of the reasons we're in the trouble that we're in right now. Right? They're feeling themselves a little bit too much, right? They're using their own personal political, pockets. They're disgruntled things they have with other states, right? They're funneling through NATO, right? Because they know like the U.S. like we spend the most money, right? We have the most arms, and we're a big part of NATO. right? They rely on us quite a bit, even though they don't respect us on that level, right? And so if you know Trump and how America first he is, how pro-American he is, dude, just remove ourselves from that situation, right? And let them deal with it. You heard him say that in 2016, his first term, right, in office, dude. He was saying they have to pay their fair share. I think he was telling other countries, man, we provide this service for you guys, right? Technically, the policing the entire globe. You have to kick in on that, man. Our military budget is super high. I think we're like $813 billion every year for our military budget. I'm a firm believer in national security. I'm a firm believer in being the leader of the free world, having our place on the global stage. Because somebody needs to be there, man. And I prefer it to be us. And the reason I prefer it to be us is because at the end of the day, we can have these discussions, right? Unlike any other country do. Because China is trying to supplant the U.S., which I think is funny, right? Because I can't see them. They have too many internal things that they have in their own country, and plus their system of government is not apropos to somebody being the world leader or the leader of the free world. They can try, right? There's other countries that are doing stuff with them now, right? If you guys don't know what BRICS is, I recommend you guys go look that up, right? How they want to replace the dollar as the world currency, which it still is. Right? With Trump coming into office, right, I'm sure that's going to change as well. Right? They won't be able to do the things that they're doing, and some of them are our allies. And I'm not saying that it's negative, right? But when you have a U.S. government that's all over the place, when you have a president who's not, dude, that dude for years they've been telling us there's nothing wrong with him, dude, and we can all see, right, that medically he's not fit for duty. He shouldn't be the president, right? And they've been hiding. They've been trying to talk around that for years. And when you had that debate with them, everybody saw with their own eyes. You should have saw it earlier, but hey, I'll take whatever we can get, right? But when you have leadership like that, when you have somebody that's weak and incompetent and is basically a machine running it, right? Then other countries are gonna react accordingly. That's why if you go and do searches, man, and see some of these other countries how they feel about Trump, they might not like him, right? Or some of them do, some of them don't. But at the end of the day, they know where he stands. Right? And when you know that, dude, then for you and your country and your people, you can adjust yourself accordingly. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, right? Like they showing you everything up front. That's what he did in his first 4 years, man.
Keeps trying to pull the world into conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia based on the lie that Russia represents our greatest threat. But the greatest threat to Western civilization.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so again, I said I saw this video already, dude. This is probably my favorite part of the video. Okay, now listen close.
Today is not Russia. It's probably more than anything else ourselves and some of the horrible USA hating people that represent us. It's the abolition of our.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. Sorry, I keep on stopping, but to be honest with you, I didn't think he'd go this far. But he's 100% correct, dude. This is the actual civil war that's going in the country.
National borders. It's the failure to police our own cities. It's the destruction of the rule of law from within. It's the collapse of the nuclear family and fertility rates like nobody can believe is happening. It's the Marxists who would have us become a godless nation worshiping at the altar of race and gender and environment. And it's the globalist class that has made us totally dependent on China and other foreign countries that basically hate us. These globalists want to squander all of America's strength, blood, and treasure, chasing monsters and phantoms overseas while keeping us distracted from the havoc they're creating right here at home. These forces are doing more damage to America than Russia and China could ever have dreamed. Evicting the sick and corrupt establishment is the monumental task for the next president. And I'm the only one who can do it. I'm the only one that can get the job done. I know exactly what has to be done.
Shout out to Magna News. I have to use your video. Don't worry, I don't monetize. That is amazing right there. That is amazing. So if you're pro-Trump, like I am, and you voted for him for these very reasons, and you ever wondered if he's going to follow through, on the things that he said, right there from the horse's mouth, dude. 100% unadulterated, uncut, dude. He's gonna move forward, dude. He's gonna take on the deep state. He's gonna take on the corruption. So when you hear Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy stand there, Department of Government, Doge, what is it? Government efficiency. Sorry, right? When you sit there and you hear them talking about cutting the fat in government, taking a hatchet and sometimes a scalpel. I prefer the hatchet personally. You guys know how I am. I'm scorched earth. Dude, go in there, just nuke everything, and then pick up the pieces afterwards. Blast the whole area, right? Let the pieces evaporate, and then go in, and then look at what you need to do, right? So for somebody like me, again, and if you think like I do, and you were a little bit worried, I mean, at first when he started picking up steam, then I knew he was serious, right? But this right here, this one video right here, this is why I'm reacting to it. It probably says everything. If you ever wondered about MAGA, if you ever wondered about people that want smaller government, every time a lot of the stuff that libertarians wish for, I'm a Republican myself, right? But all of this stuff is addressed right here in this one video. He knows what's going on, dude. He's getting, like I said, he's getting his pieces ready. He's playing chess, dude. He's lining up all his pieces. He's got a game plan. As you guys can tell, this dude has been, even though he's just the president-elect Trump has been working like every day, nonstop. Again, I wanted to do a lot more videos on my channel. I just can't keep up with all the news that's coming out. I never got a chance to do about, what did I talk about? Did I even talk about the Department of Education? But that's another big one. Everything that he's doing right now is linked specifically to all the stuff that happened to him in the first 4 years. He saw it. He just couldn't do anything about it. And the interesting thing about the 4 years that he lost, right, because they did cheat, right? They rigged that election. I don't care what anybody says. They rigged that thing. And then, like, you see the last election, how he won. He won the popular and the electoral vote. And then people's like, see, the 2020 wasn't rigged. I'm like, no, 2020 was absolutely rigged. This proves it, man. What happened to where did all those 81 million Democrat voters go to? Yeah, they don't exist. That's why. And again, man, I know you. I'll stand on that hill. I'll die on that hill. Right? But the great thing about that is I gave them time. Right? That gave them time. That's why they attacked him so much, dude. This is why they was trying to put him in jail. This is why they was trying to shut him up. They was trying to bankrupt him. They was trying to put him in jail, and ultimately trying to take him out. Right? Because they know what was coming, dude. Right? And this is why these guys are quaking in their boots, right? This is why you see people starting to bend the knee now, because they know it's over. It'll be amazing to me to see all this stuff, man, because I think he will declassify a lot of things, man. And we're at a point right now that the goal is just to they basically just limit government, but just to get rid of federal government as much as possible. Right? He's already talked about Department of Education. He wants to move it to someplace like Arizona, take it over there. Right? I'm pretty sure there's other agencies he has. He wants to break it all up, dude. Because like I say on this channel all the time, dude, when I talk about politics, dude, it's just so incestuous in Washington, D.C., right? And all these people, man, they have lobbyists up there. Everybody's scratching each other's back. Everybody's quid pro quo. People making money off of stuff they're not supposed to be making. Dude, these dudes that do make a lot of money as congressmen, man, dude, these dudes are like $20-30 million. They shouldn't have that type of money. It's just a congressman or woman or politics in general, dude. At the end of the day, dude, it's a civil service, just like military service, dude. It's not about making yourself rich, man. It's a service to your country. So I am all in on this, dude. Again, this was an amazing video. I really loved it. Sorry that I'm a little bit kind of tired. I had a long day and had stuff to do when I came home as well. And so, but I did want to get this video out because I think it's important, man. A lot of people need to start waking up to what's going on. Dude, if it wasn't for Elon Musk buying Twitter, none of this stuff would have got exposed. A lot of people wouldn't have woken up. A lot of the people that ended up teaming up with him, dude, like I said, all of these dudes are former Democrats. That's what gets me about this. When I hear people cry about it. Oh, Republicans this, Republicans that, dude. Most of these dudes were liberals. Most of these dudes were former Democrats. They got ostracized out of their own party, or they had a coming to Jesus moment where they woke up and realized that this country is in trouble because the people on the left are absolutely insane. Right? And then you have the rest of everybody else, dude, that just want to worry about putting food on the table, affording their house, paying their bills, future for their kids. right? And then what are we told? We told about same-sex. What is it? LG alphabet people stuff, right? Don't be a bigot. Don't be a Nazi. Oh, by the way, here we go. Let's go to war. That was what they had to offer, and people wasn't buying that, dude. Especially when it affects you directly, dude. Like there's a lot of college people in 2020 in the 2020 election that voted for. There's a lot of people that voted for Biden, even though still think they cheated, right? But there was a lot of people that voted for Biden. This time around, they woke up, and it's a good thing they did wake up, man, because they're suffering because of this. All the stuff that they've been doing the last 4 years. It was actually a good wake up call. There's a minister, I can't remember his name, and I wish I did, but he made a good statement. Is that sometimes God allows you to go through these type of trials and tribulation because that's the only way you're gonna realize what the truth is, right? And that's what happened to a lot of people, man. They had their coming to Jesus moment. They woke up, they realized this wasn't right, this wasn't wrong, right? And then they adjusted, and it's a great thing they did, dude. Like I said in my other video, I normally don't use this terminology because I think it's used way too often, but I think it's apropos. It applies to this current political cycle, which is this is probably one of the biggest elections of our lifetime. A lot of stuff would have changed had he not won, right? And he realizes that, dude. He understands the thing that's been happening to him, and he realizes that, like he said at the end of the video, man, it's like there's nobody who can do it except for me, and he's gonna take that upon the mantle, man. And God bless him for that, dude, because it's a heavy burden, and a lot of people couldn't handle this. Sometimes, man, God uses who He needs to use, and sometimes people are made for certain times. That's another thing people don't understand. Right? It's not about being the perfect person or having the best person, but having the right person for the job, and he's definitely that person. Right? So I'm looking forward to it, man. And again, all the politics and all that stuff aside, dude, it's just to sit there and watch, like what he's gonna do, how it's gonna affect you directly. Definitely pay attention, man. Get your money in order. You hear a lot of people talking about tariffs. I'll do another video on that. People worried about tariffs and how to be utilized. All the smart people, all the economists, right? All the analysts, all these people that went to Harvard and Yale are starting to talk about it and the woes and the worries of it. And then I was on a forum chat, dude. I just posted on the chat to answer these people because people are going back and forth. And I just looked. I said, look, just tell me one thing. At the end of the day, tariffs, income tax, all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, do I get to keep more of my money? And they didn't answer. You know why they didn't answer? Because that's the bottom line. If you have tariffs and prices raised and stuff like that, the offsetting stuff would be like if there's no income tax. Just look at the amount of money you pay on taxes and see if there's no income tax, the amount of money that you can keep out of your paycheck. So that'll negate that. And there's other issues that you got to do that. But at the end of the day, I asked them a simple question: do I get to keep more of my money? And the answer is yes. And that's what scares them, because when people actually see that happen, when people begin to realize what this really means and what that really is and how much money these people waste, that's a game changer, right? And in America, man, once that happens, you're never going to go back. That's just the way we are. And that's why these people are scared. That's why these people are fighting tooth and nail. That's why all these people are starting to come out of the works, right? Some are smart, man. They're beginning to bend the knee, but other people, right, they can't afford to let this happen, dude, because it's going to affect them, right? Some of these people are going to go to jail. Some of these people should be court-martialed. Some of these people should be. They're treasonous, man. A lot of these dudes are committed treason against this country. So that's one of the things I love the most about this, man. He called them all out. He called out all the Marxists, all the communists. Dude, you have a lot of people, I told you guys this before, right, that they were part of the outside movement. They were the revolutionaries, but they kept on losing, right? And they didn't get the change that they wanted. And the reason they didn't get the change that they wanted is because people didn't. There are people that agree with you. You might have a movement and stuff like that, but the majority of the people who are just normies, man, they didn't want to buy into that kind of stuff. They just lived their lives, and that pissed them off. So you know what they did? Instead of destroying the system, they infiltrated the system. And that's what Trump means when he talks about these people being there. Because you have people that are serving, that you're supposed to serve as, especially if you're in Congress, right, for the betterment of the country, for your fellow citizens, and these guys are doing things to destroy the country. This is why there's illegal immigration, right? This is why they practice DEI. Everything that's foundational to this country, everything that's fundamental, everything that is black and white, right and wrong, they try and pervert every single thing. And he realizes that, and he sees it, and he's going to go to war with these guys. Anyway, guys, it's been half an hour. Again, I'll try and keep these videos short. Sorry, again, a little tired. Trying to get everything that I wanted to say off my chest. But this is an absolute amazing video. Absolutely love it. And yeah, if I were you guys, I would bookmark this because this would be a good litmus test as we move forward to see how they're going to actually change this country. All right. Well, let me stop sharing that. All right, dude. Xbox All in China, host Sega Forever. We out.